I love this song, Fa La La La, and I think it's a perfect danceable track for the holidays, which is sort of lacking, I feel like. Yes, you have the holiday classics which you can dance to, but this is sort of almost like an EDM, but also, a danceable song. Talk about creating Fa La La La.
I mean, I'm a dance artist, I'm a DJ myself, and a lot of my success in music has come from lending my voice to DJs. So dance music is in my blood, as you might think. And when it came to writing an original Christmas song, it had to have some of my authentic sound in it. I was in Sweden last Christmas time. My mom is Swedish, and we have cousins that are there still today. And I was visiting my cousins at the beginning of December over dinner, and they knew I was going in to write a song literally the next day. And they challenged me with writing a song as catchy as Last Christmas by Wham. So when I went into my songwriting session, I told the producer and the co-writer that was what I wanted to do. And fortunately, they wanted to do it too. And we wrote this song that it doesn't really sound like Last Christmas by Wham in any of the melodies or even the lyrics, but we just wanted to write something that could be as infectious as that song is. So hopefully this has some years to it and it keeps growing, and we can see if it becomes
A
that for
classic.
exactly a classic.
What is your typical songwriting process? Do you need to have like a beat, or did Gustav sort of help you craft one while you guys were working together? Or did you come up with the concept fully yourself and flesh it out yourself?
I'll admit, I think I came in with really no ideas. And that's not common. I mean, I sometimes have a strong idea, a title, for example, but with this song, I just came in really like, let's write a Christmas song. Gustav is prone to producing and really not writing lyrics, and he kind of just gets in his zone. And me and whoever I'm writing lyrics with kind of get in our zone. And then we have a huddle and we're like, this is what we did. And he's like, okay, yeah, this is good. Or no, let's change it. That's his style of working with me. And I believe that's what happened with this song too, is that he just started making music, playing a little bit of guitar, and then me and Maria were writing lyrics and came up with this sort of, it has the same sentiments, a little bit of like Last Christmas, which is all about like last Christmas you gave me your heart, next year you gave it away. This one's kind of like, will we get it right this year? Like, will we finally kind of figure out what it is Christmas, the spirit is about, for example? And so it's a different subject matter, but that's really what Maria and I kind of wanted to encapsulate with the lyrics. It's like, this Christmas, will we get it right? Will our dreams come true? Will my wish come true? Those kinds of ideas.
And then when it comes to the production side, did you trust Gustav, and or did you say to him like, "Look, I'd like a little more 808 here, a little bit more bass over here," or were you just entrusting him to really flesh out your initial idea and get it a little bit set?
I mean, I definitely have producers I work with where I'm like, hey, this isn't really my idea. Like, let's go take a listen to this other song that's out there. Let's kind of borrow something from that. But one of the great things about Gustav is I don't really have to do that with him. He's excellent. Like, he's as good as Max Martin, in my humble opinion. I mean, he's signed to one of the top publishing companies in Sweden for a good reason. And so when it comes to working with him, and this was not my first song with him, I think this might have been my sixth song with him. I had already grown to really trust his process and know that when it comes to production, he's a micromanager and he will spend hours and hours over the smallest things and then really perfect it himself. So I didn't have to really shape this that much with him. He and I are the same zodiac sign. We're born just a couple days apart. So I really feel like he kind of gets me, and I love what he does when he and I work together. So it's just very easy to work with him. I don't have to be like, hey, change this. This is not my vision. He like really gets, and I really love his sound of music.
Well, there's the phrase "Whamageddon," which I had never heard before, and you apparently had learned it from your Swedish cousins. Is this a way to help with Fala, a way to avoid um, the tropes of Christmas music that people fall into?
Yeah, again, I never heard that phrase either. My cousins called it a phrase where you try to go the whole Christmas without hearing that song. And I think that's really hard to accomplish. Um, but yeah, I mean that's a summarizing of what the phrase means. But I guess with my song, I mean, hopefully maybe someday But that Whamageddon is named after the band, so I guess you would have to name it Davis-ageddon or something to try to avoid hearing me. If,
That's right.
God willing, the song becomes a hit.
I'm sure you're getting tons of fan response to it. I know you dropped sort of a little video tease about the creation of it, but is there a full video to come? And what can you tease about what it'll involve?
I'm prone to making music videos, and for this song, I almost made a video last year in Christmas time. We were blessed with a couple days of snow. We don't usually get snow in Nashville,
Oh, I was
and
gonna
I
say in
called.
Sweden or in Nashville, which one were you looking to
Well,
do?
I was in Nashville. I was in Sweden just for a week of songwriting, and then came back to Nashville, and we were blessed with some snow. And I rung up my favorite music video director and asked him, like, can we quickly go shoot something out in the snow? But he was not available that day, and by the next day, the snow had just evaporated. It had melted. So I'm waiting, if we get snow this Christmas, to film here in Nashville a performance video at the right time.
All right, stay tuned. We'll stay tuned. With Fall out now, is this sort of a prelude to some new music coming for the new year, maybe an EP or a full album?
Yes. So in May of this year, I put out a 3-song EP called American Boy, which I accidentally realized 3 of the songs had U, S, and A as the first letters of each song. There was Unlike Myself, So Much Warmer Now, and American Boy. So it felt like perfect to do that.
The
And I really,
irony.
yeah, exactly. The irony was the cute, accidental event. And I really rode that out through the summer and those 3 singles. And then they were all at the same publishing company, which is 10 Music in Sweden. And then later on in the summer, dropped 2 singles. One was In the Movies, which was used in an award ceremony this fall. There's an award ceremony for Reverie TV, which is kind of like a queer Netflix. And they had an award, it's called the Outweb Awards, and they featured it in the live performance of the show. And that was also produced by Gustav. And then Fa La 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 followed. So I went back to Sweden this summer to write more with Gustav, and we wrote 3 more unreleased songs. And the plan is to put out a full-length album just entirely written at 10 Music Group in the new year.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Are you able to tease any collaborations that will be featured, or is this a Davis only
I
album?
mean, so far, every song has other talented songwriters on it, people that I admire, artists in themselves who have written songs on it. But as far as like featured vocals, at this point in time, there's none, though that could quickly change. And it might change. So we'll see.
Well, I know that your label 10 also does Zara Larson, Pop. So those are all options I'm sure you have at your fingertips should you be in Sweden
Yeah,
and open to collaborate with anyone.
that could definitely be discussed. And maybe you just prompted me to make
To
something like that.
nudge. A little something, something. All
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Exactly.
I know that Falala is going to be an instant dance holiday classic. What are some of your personal favorite holiday songs to listen to? Avoiding, as we've discussed, Wham. We can't touch on that.
Oh, I actually have a Spotify playlist. People can go listen to it. It is called The Best Christmas Songs of All Time. And I add to it every Christmas season. And at the very top of it is Last Christmas by Wham. And All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. And NSYNC's Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, among many others. I mean, it's really got almost every song you could imagine that's ever been successful. It's probably got 200 songs or so in it. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree and Let It Snow by Boys to Men. Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. I mean, there's so many great songs, and I really, really love to just play Christmas music around the house when it hits December 1st. So it's a fun way for me to add to my own playlist by putting Fa La 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 out.
Have you heard from fans that it's a must put on these days?
I mean, I get videos sent to me pretty regularly from friends, family, and fans who are playing it in their car, at Christmas parties. I mean, it's really delightful to get people showing me them enjoying the song, especially my cousins in Sweden or friends that are just around the US who have discovered it and are falling in love with it. So that's been a joy.
Any chance we can expect a full song from you in Swedish one day?
That is going to be a long time coming. I'll say that this summer I got a gift from my aunt, which is a book on how to learn Swedish. And for several weeks, I was dedicated to learning it. And then, as you might expect, I kind of put the book down and got distracted. But I've finally learned how to say several things and read it and understand it better than I ever have before. But singing it is probably a long time coming.
Okay, so we won't keep our fingers crossed for that for the near future to pop up.
No, I'm dating a Spanish speaker, and so I'm probably more likely to
More
sing a song
likely to learn
in Spanish.
Spanish in the near future.
As far as like near future goes, Spanish is coming first, or maybe French. I studied French for 8 years of my life, and so I'm pretty good at French.
Well, talking about things that may or may not manifest, we loved you on the real world. You did the challenge. Is there a chance maybe you'd be open to another MTV series?
I had kind of put that past behind me when I started focusing on music, just because I felt them like kind of as just so different career paths, and I really wanted music to be my success. But I just visited Cara Maria and Polly just a couple weekends ago in Arizona, and and Tyree, my co-star from the Real World, and when we were around, they were asking that same question to me, and I would entertain it and probably do it again. I mean, I've been really focusing on my fitness, so I feel like I could stand up for myself and do a pretty good job if I was thrown in a challenge. So never say never. It could
All right,
happen.
watch out, CT.
Yeah.
There's a new lead, Johnny Bananas.
I
There's a new lead guy coming to take the
yeah.
crown.
My turn. My turn to punch CT. You know, he punched me in the face, right?
It
Okay.
hurts me. It hurts me. I try not to think about it because we were so kind and gentle in the series and stuff. I put that aside because I feel
Yeah.
like that was a
I just figured that's why you said watch out, CT.
yes, yes, yes. It was. It was. I was like, watch out. These are the you guys are the most macho of them all.
Yeah. I personally love Johnny Bananas. Like I've always had a soft spot for him. So
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah,
maybe we won't push him too far off the edge then.
yeah.
He won't be the first eliminated in your book of vendettas.
No, no. And like totally unrelated, but I went to Brazil with Paulie this year
Oh,
for Carnival.
cool.
I DJ'd for him for a week of Carnival, so I got to know him just this year for the first time, and so we've become close friends.
Oh, it must have been an amazing experience, though, to not to be there for you doing during Carnival and to be with Bali.
Yeah, it was. I'd never been to Brazil, so the whole experience was like a big bucket list. So
I talked to you about collabing with some of your Swedish artists that we could connect with. Is there a dream collab you have in mind? Someone you would love to work with in the future?
I mean, I've really loved the career of Benjamin Ingrosso. He's the baby cousin of Swedish House Mafia Sebastian Ingrosso, and he was on like an American Idol as a child star, but Swedish Idol, and became famous as a child. And his music to me is just perfect. Like I can listen to it. He was in my top 5 on Spotify this year, as you would expect. I don't know that he does a lot of collabs with American artists. Like, who knows? But if he would work with me and he's watching, I would absolutely work with him. Um, and I know it's shooting big, but I would always work with Britney Spears.
I mean, at this point, anything is possible now that everything's free. She's happy to do,
Yeah,
she's happier. She's able to do more. So we'll manifest that for you
yeah.
as well.
I just enjoyed listening to her autobiography by Michelle Williamson on
Williams
Spotify.
voice, yes.
It
It
was
was
super nice.
yeah, it was very informative. I read the book version myself. It was very eye-opening, stuff that you
Yeah,
wouldn't think about, especially since you have this like limited view of her because of what they put out.
yeah. I went into it super skeptical, thinking it didn't rate, and it was all just like a propaganda piece put on by like her manager. But then as I read it, I was like, no, this feels like she's definitely sharing like real things that only she could
Exactly.
share. So
Right.
yeah,
It wasn't about, I felt like, yeah, it was definitely a genuine piece that she created herself so that she could give really her point of view out to what she experienced during that difficult time.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved her music. And but as far as Swedish stars go, I don't know. I mean, I love Icona Pop and I love Zara Larsson as well. So
All right, I'll talk to Gustav and get it
yeah,
popping already.
yeah. And ABBA.
Anything is possible. Those are
Yeah.
incredible artists. I'm looking forward to that in 2024, so we'll see what we can do.
ABBA featuring Davis.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible music that you continue to make?
You know, I mean, I think I've been putting music out since 2015, I think 2014. So it's been a long time, almost 10 years of doing this. And I've had highs and lows, and I've had successful mile markers, accomplishments, things that I dreamt of doing. I've checked off my list, and of course, I have things I have yet to do. Um, but I just love music. Like I love to sing, I love to songwrite, I love to perform, and I think I'll do it until I die. So that is why I keep doing it. And I'm an independent artist, really. I'm not signed to 10 or publishing. The label is, I've just been writing with Gustav, who is signed to 10. So I'm still independent and I'm doing everything as an independent artist. So I appreciate people who are listening and supporting and sharing because that's really how you make it in today's industry. It's just like people, sharing it. So I just want to say anyone who's listening and who has shared or loves my music, like I greatly appreciate it. So thank you.